Hello. And we are recording now. Welcome. It's Teddy Pins, and I'm giving you my best 2021 kickoff outfit. I would like to welcome the amazing Andrea Woodard Evans, say it with me, to our call here. She's going to be leading our marketing calendars. And the goal today in our first Village Lab of 2021 is that you leave today with a marketing calendar that you can do something with. So it's not like if you're welcome to listen and play at home and fill it out later, but we all know later comes typically never. So I would encourage you to go ahead and go to the chat, click on the link. And for those that are watching this as a recording, all of this is in the Village calendar as far as the access to these documents, the emails. So when you're watching in the future. Nonetheless, go ahead and open the Village calendar documents. You'll see the Flow Marketing Calendar template. That's what Andrea will be working with today. And I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Teddy. Always love your intros. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first V-Lab of 2021. I'm honored to be leading it with you guys. And just so you know, everyone can go off of mute. I'm very collaborative. I like people jumping in. If I'm just sitting here talking, it's not going to be near as much fun. So if you want to talk, do not hesitate. I am here to listen, and we're all here to learn with each other. So the one other thing I like for people to do before we get started is make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or a marker or a crayon. If you're like me and you have kids around because you're virtually learning, I can find crayons quicker than I can pens. So whatever you want.
In case in case you forget, Andrea, I just want to jump in. Make sure you save a copy. So when you open up the link that I sent to you, click on File and click Make a Copy. Make a copy. Or you can click Save as Google Sheets. Nonetheless, you don't want to edit the template. So you'll go ahead and make a copy, and then you can choose where that's going to go later.
Or you can download it to your computer, whatever you need to do. But like Teddy said, do not write on or type.
Actually, I would prefer you to do the download option. My apologies. Making a copy will make a copy in that folder. If you do, you'll need to just export that out. So yeah, download's going to be your best bet in Excel. So if you can take a moment to do that.
Emily asked if you can put the link again.
No problem. Coming to you.
We will be going through that calendar later. Before we do that, we're going to kind of brainstorm together and talk about what we would want to do. So again, keep that in the background. But before, let's kind of talk about what we do for marketing and prospecting. The one key is consistency is way more important than reach. If you have a database of, let's say, 300 people, and you decide that you're going to send out a newsletter in January to all 300, and then you don't do anything else again for the rest of the year, that was a little bit of a waste. Not complete waste, because something's better than nothing, but consistency is key. I'm sure you've all heard the statistic that someone needs to see your face, your brand, whatever it is, at least 3 times before it becomes a place in their memory bank. So again, consistency is more important than reach. If you are consistently staying in front of 5 people, it is better than not being consistent with 300. So it's the first thing I want to get out there. The other thing that I find very important to keep reminding myself is keep it simple. Don't overthink it. As Zach says all the time, don't let perfection get in the way of the good. Don't let perfection be the enemy of the good. I think it's actually how he says it. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. You might think, oh gosh, I got to move this one line 2 spaces up. The reader is not going to know any different from the 2 spaces up versus the 2 spaces down. And just remember, keep it simple. Something is better than nothing. And then decide what you think is valuable. And I'm going to give basically just 4 big points, and then we're going to talk about these things together, just so you know. I know I said we were collaborative, and now I'm talking a lot. Decide what you want to send and what is valuable and how often you want to send it. I know that you've all seen the Flow marketing calendar at this point, and so you can see that it is broken up by month. and all the dates of the month are also on there. So again, knowing how often you want to send it is very, very important. And then plan how you want to execute it and create a budget for it. Again, the flow marketing calendar that we have on there on the link that we're going to be going through shows the budget as well. So it's a one-stop shop. It is very intense, but it is so easy once you kind of get in there and you see how it is. So knowing we have to keep it consistent, we have to keep it simple, don't overthink it. What are some things that you think we would want to put into a marketing calendar? We're going to go a little bit deeper, but just if anyone has any things off of the top of their head right now.
Newsletter. Birthdays.
Any ads you might be running?
Ads. Yes, and yes. Where is that? Here it is. Yes. So birthday wishes, home anniversaries, lunches with friends, drinks with friends, after vaccines are out there, coffee chats. I've heard of lenders sending $5 Starbucks cards to realtors and saying, hey, go grab a Starbucks and meet me on Zoom at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I would love to tell you about my product. Do that too. Send $5 or a bottle of wine to a client and say, hey, meet me on Zoom tonight at 6 o'clock. I would love to catch up. So the other thing, I wanted to hit on a couple just to make sure, one, everyone's listening and we're all on the same page. So who are we going to send these things to? And Rebecca Cooper, I know $5 wine doesn't exist. Thanks for the reminder.
I drink it. I mean,
Yes, it does. And I am the connoisseur of the less than $10 wine genre. So
Oh.
it's kind of frightening, but
That you should turn into a marketing opportunity you should put on your calendar and promote and turn that into a thing, in my opinion.
I love that. Thank you.
There you go. You're
I
welcome.
will. Great idea. Yay. And I'll send you some really good cheap wine for that.
I mean,
Boy,
I'm a great test dummy for wine. I'm just going to put that there.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this. Who are we going to make sure to prospect to market ourselves to?
Our sphere, our past clients, our friends and family, all the people we work with, our dentists, our vets, our who's left?
Do you have a sheet that I'm looking at right here? Because you pretty much just went through all my bullet points. You're reading.
I got a really good camera.
Yes, so your database, your sphere of influence, the people who know you, like you, trust you. So think of those people as people that it's not going to take 3 times for you to take place in their memory bank. That is your database. If you're a farmer, not literally making crops, but a farmer is in farming neighborhoods, then that is where you need to be in front of them at least 3 times consistently. So another place you could prospect is a neighborhood that you want to target. If you are like Chad Wohlers, he is incredible at the condo world and he farms all the condo buildings and he has become the condo king. So if that is a niche that you think you would really excel at, do that. Other agents I know love horse farms and they've become horse farmers. That kind of is weird to say. The good thing about that is that's how you can grow your database. So if you are a farming type agent and you're new to the business, that might be where you want to start farming your neighborhood. They're going to recognize your face anyway. And it's a good way to grow your database. The only thing to think about with that is, again, like I said, it is a long-term process, which means it could get kind of costly. So just keep that in mind if that is somewhere that you were looking to prospect. Okay, I know Dee, you pretty much hit all of them, but any other thoughts that anyone's doing uniquely that you could prospect to? Going once.
Anyone when
anyone that's not doing this full time could prospect to the coworkers at their other jobs.
Yes.
Ooh, very good. Yeah. Or if you just
Or
left,
people that you used to
job.
work with.
right, people you used to work with. When I very first started, I was kind of shortly out of college, and I used my sorority sisters, even if they didn't live in Nashville. I told them, I was like, hey, if you're moving or anyone you know, let me refer them to an agent in their area. And that helped me. It was referral fees, which helped me get started. And then I dropped it because it was kind of hard to do and expensive. Okay, so now what are we going to send them? Any thoughts out of the gates?
I sent postcards recently that were like greetings from Nashville and greetings from Tennessee. So the Nashville ones went to other people in Tennessee, and then the others went to out of state.
Very cute. I love that.
I
So
really
that was-
like,
That was an art, if you will. So you know we want to send two types of things, an art and a science. Science is data. Postcards, greetings, handwritten notes, that would be considered art. Another thing is to keep in mind is something of value. Attract your client, don't chase them. That is a good key to have. So examples of science, home stats, home values, neighborhood values, market trends, emerging neighborhoods. So I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but telling your investors, hey, here's where the developers are going and here's where the investors are going. Keep an eye on this neighborhood. This is an emerging neighborhood. Art would be places to go hiking. Here's the concert. Well, not right now. Here's the concert series for the summer. Here's the places you can go get pictures with Santa Claus. Here are great drive-through lighting displays for the holidays. Here's Easter Bunny, anything like that. So that would be art. And you can do these things many different ways, as you know. You can do them via email and you can do them via snail mail. The good old post office. Let's keep the post office in business, even though Teddy hates buying stamps. How many stamps do you have in your drawer right now, Teddy?
I actually have quite a few. And some of them are like those, I do, I really do. But it's because they're from 3 years ago. Hey, look at Lon. Lon's got some
Look at
stamps.
Lon.
wow. Using
That is great. Do you work for the post office? That is a lot of stamps.
We know where to go to buy stamps.
I
Yeah.
should-
This is good.
every week. I'm gonna get this woman at the post office to buy a house. I'm gonna-
One, I would have double paid at Christmas time for some of those stamps that you had. You could have sold those for a major profit.
Speaking
that
to
in
that though,
mind.
Lon, tell us what you're doing with these stamps, Lon. Why do you have these stamps and what are you doing with them?
I am doing monthly postcards now from another marketing class like this. I've been doing, well, mostly monthly, and I've been doing them for, occasions, 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Halloween, what else? Christmas. Yeah, I don't do Christmas because a lot of my population don't celebrate Christmas, and I don't either. So I do New Year's cards instead. And I also do direct mail to leads that I get from one of my designations. So I do
Beautiful.
roughly 20 letters a week or so. Nice stationery, nice envelopes, hand addressed, which is a total pain in the ass because my hands are old and my handwriting is scary. But
You do it.
Yeah, they say that handwritten is better than computer generated address. So
True. It is true.
And do you
Yeah.
hear, what is your feedback from your people that you've been sending these to? Have you gotten business from this? Are you noticing connections and results?
Yeah, I've been doing this consistently for only about 6 months, but just in the last couple of weeks, I've gotten 3 people who have contacted me and said, I love getting your cards. Thanks so much. one of my former clients contacted me this week and said, would you come look at my apartment, my condo, and tell me what I need to do to get it on the market? She said, I'm not doing it right away, but I'd like to get some ideas about renovations that I can do for the future. So I'm starting to get some of that feedback that people are they're receiving these things. I've gotten a couple of listing appointments out of some of these letters that I sent out to people I don't know. I had kind of an odd personal connection to one of them from someone from my childhood in another state. And that has really opened up this really kind of incredible dialogue that's like just mind blowing. So, and one of the attorneys that I work with, we have continued a dialogue, and she said to me the other day, how can I help you? Okay.
And so you've been sending her the letters as well?
Yeah, I've been sending these. Well, yeah, no, I would say no. I send her probably like an annual card. But
Okay.
now I will be doing more. I'll be doing.
Yeah, like if she's asking that, she needs to be right in that fold. But it's just a great example. Thank you for sharing, Lon. I'll turn it back to Andrea. Is just mailing is slow, but it's consistent and it gets noticed. And it tends to be about that 4-month mark when people see it enough where they go, okay, this is a thing. And that's typically when people might quit, is at that 3 to 4 month mark. They're like, this isn't working. This is expensive. And that's the beauty of this calendar that you're creating today, is that it's not a mystery. If you're going to do this, you're going to know what it costs today, and you're going to set aside and commit to that, or just don't. Like, don't waste the money trying it. It's not a question. We've been to the future, friends. We know what works and doesn't work anymore. So there's no like new trick. So it's a matter of just, am I willing to commit to this financially and from my time?
Yep. So with that, talking about mailings, just kind of piggybacking on there, great segue. There are 2 types of mailings. The first type, this is so simple, the stuff you do create. And the second type is the stuff you don't create. So going back to our tip number 1 of keep it simple, let's talk about some mailings that you can send that you do not have to create. And by mail, I mean paper mail or email. So what are some that you would not have to create?
The ones like the just listed and just sold ones,
Yep.
they kind of magically just happen after you pay for them, but they're great.
You kind of create those because it is your listing, but
I don't. I have people.
I'm thinking like Lolo.
Oh
So
yeah, I love
basically
Lolo. Okay.
Automatic that you don't have to create. What else?
I set up something and I don't remember if it was, I think it goes to Google, but I set it up through HomeSnap or Zillow. I don't know. It's all like a thing, but they do posts on my profile for me automatically, like every 3 or 4 days or so, that are all just kind of generic buying in Nashville stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I want to know more about that. Post that in the chat.
Yeah, please. What about
home values? You can set up home values. There's different websites that'll update people monthly on what their home is worth. Type of again, it's how accurate is not at the point. It's just it's a touch from you automatically without having to initiate that.
So the alter of Lolo being email, you can do Boomerang, which is paper. So if your clients are, again, know your audience. My mom would not know what to do with Lolo, but she would love the Boomerang. She loves paper.
Is Boomerang like Lolo, but paper?
Yes, it's a paper postcard of a coupon. Boomerang isn't local. I mean, it can be local, but it's not usually local, whereas Lolo is local. Locals support locals.
Gotcha.
Yep. Has anyone ever done the American Lifestyles magazine?
Used
A
to.
lot of, yeah, used to. If you don't know what that is a magazine that you can put your picture on the cover and you kind of write a letter in it. It's kind of like a letter from the editor. It has your information, it says compliments of, and it's actually a really nice magazine. It's not real estate focused. It's kind of like a national lifestyles magazine. Like it has articles in it, it has design stuff in it, it has recipes in it. It's
I get-
not like,
Yeah, I get one from my financial guy. So I have chosen not to do it, Andrea, because I see so many, and I also know several fellow realtors that use it.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to be redundant. I'd rather it be more authentic. And if there was another one that was a lesser used one that maybe we could find, I've tried to search and see, because I'm not going to write a magazine, but I think it's a great idea. I just think there's a lot of redundancy going on right now with that. That's just my opinion.
I didn't send those when I did. I didn't send them often, but the ones I sent them to were my doctors or dentists, because they would pop it on their coffee table in their waiting room. And then
Yeah.
there was my picture, and it was an interesting magazine, and people would pick it up. Right now, obviously, that's not happening, because who wants to pick up a magazine that 50 other people touched before you?
True.
Don't do that. But on the other side of the vaccine, that could be something that if your audience would like it, you could pick up the magazine that way. Anything else? Any other things that you don't have to create?
The market stats that are done by Village.
Thank you. What else is done by Village that you don't have to create?
The monthly newsletter that Village does.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the newsletter is something that can be something you do create or something you don't create. So that's kind of a crossbreed. If you like to do your own newsletter, by all means do it. Keep it simple. Something is better than nothing. Send Caitlin's. She works hard on it. It looks great. It's a whole lot better than sending nothing. I'll put it that way. That's a good one.
I use Outbound Engine for my newsletter. I started it like 2 or 3 years ago, and I know it's more of a national platform, but actually a lot of the content's really good, and I've got good open rates from the people I send it to. And they also, and what I like is that they also post on my social media with related content to tie to
Ooh.
the newsletter. So that's what I
did-
really like.
Did they create the newsletter for you, or do you create it and
No,
pull from their?
They create it, and they have a
Nice.
section in it where you can customize it and put your own content. Like I could put my listings and other things in there if I want to, but it's more, it might be about, winterizing your home, or, general topics that apply to homeowners. But
Yeah.
I just realized I didn't have the time resource, and it was a good way for me to have someone on my team, that was doing that and doing the social media post. So
Nice. And they send it to your email list?
yes,
you do that?
they send it out every month. You load it up
Okay,
and
that is
you post. It is-
Definitely something you have to create.
Yes.
That is awesome. I love that. Teddy just put the link in the chat. I think you were trying to say that, Teddy, and you were muted.
I was, if you wouldn't mind sharing, Jan, what plan are you on, and how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it, God, I gotta think about it. It's probably been about 4 or 5 years. Because I've kept it through other stuff I've added to my marketing mix. And I'm on the plan. I don't know what their different tiered plans. It's cost me about $400 a month for the newsletter and the postings for social media. And it sounds really pricey, but honestly, I can see, I can go out to my site and look and see who's opening them. And, it tells you who's a hot lead, who's a warm lead, who maybe isn't. The one thing I've been guilty of really recently is I need to update my mailing list with them and get some more of my database into there, some more recent names. So, but it's like you said, it's awareness. And I looked at it as a branding opportunity, versus more, yes, leads, but also just to have a presence. So.
Well, yeah, and your best leads are going to come from your current leads, right? So like not trying to generate cold leads. This is really
Correct.
most about right? Cultivating warm sources of business. And
Right.
ultimately, it's about keeping in touch. And that becomes challenging if we're not disciplined with having a calendar like this or automating pieces that you aren't as comfortable with. I mean, you've got plenty of marketing that you do,
Mhm.
Jan, that you don't outsource to Outbound Engine, but it's
Right.
those pieces where you go, look, this takes more time and energy and money than I could be giving. Of they can't pick up the phone and call your people. They
Right.
can automate a newsletter and send, and Lolo and other things that you don't have to have personal contact with. So that's
Correct.
awesome. Thank you for sharing.
One follow-up question on that. How many people are you sending that to at the $400?
Gosh, Andrea, I haven't looked at it recently. I can't even remember, but it's it's over, I think I have like 200 maybe in there, but I think part of the tiered membership, it may have, yes, there you go. Teddy's got it up.
So
So,
$200 for 500 people. That's when you actually divide that out on a per
yeah,
basis, that's not a lot. You get 2 emails a month.
yeah. So if you go for the full, because I had started out with them and I had, they wanted me to do a website and all that stuff. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So,
Wow, I love it. Thank you.
But be prepared. Once you reach out to them, they are great salespeople, and they
They
will
are.
follow.
I'm
They
gonna
will
tell you.
follow you down until you pay, and that's just great salesmanship, right? Like, I mean, they're follow up. Like, if you call Dotloop or the Core Coaching or Outbound Engine, you really have to tell them, like, do not call me until I call you back when you're ready. But they're not pressure people. They're great salespeople. They're professionally trained to follow up. That's their business. So I would hope they're great follow up people.
They were, and they did assign like an account rep to me when I was first getting things signed up and then changing. There was some confusion on which email, and I was getting like duplicate bills. They were really good about getting it all straightened out. So that made me go, okay, these guys are on it. They want my business and they're going to do what they can to, keep it.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Jim.
Any other thoughts or ideas of things you do not have to create?
I'll check back in on I finally found where that automatic poster was, and it was through your HomeSnap Pro profile, the agent profile. Go to that page in your dashboard. You'll see your like Google listing, Google Maps. Like I put mine on the East Nashville office because I'm there. From there, you can edit, and there's posts, but it's all very user friendly. Just go into your HomeSnap Pro. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help anyone set that up.
We do. I'm going to have you host a lab on that in a few weeks. That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. You are amazing. Everybody give Emily a hand.
Thanks. Patty.
Can't wait to hear Emily lead a HomeSnap Pro class. This is great.
Okay, so now let's move into things that you can create, things that you would have to create. I'll jump us off with real estate reviews. And real estate reviews you do once a year. And those are a great thing to send. You can either email them out. Brent Cooper does his over coffee, drinks, or lunch. I drop mine off with my monthly gift campaign that I do that we'll go into in a little bit. It's very easy to do, and it's a great touch, and it is a science feature, so it is data, and people love to know what's happening in their neighborhood. So what other things can you create? We can go and put newsletter out there because we talked about it before. Just kidding. Okay, so I'll go over some more. Neighborhood postcards. What is sold in your neighborhood in the past week? Calendars, schedules. I mean, no, do you really create those? No, but you are kind of creating them in a way. It's not automatic. Top 5 list, design trends, swag, koozies, t-shirts, You can create monthly postcards. You can do art or science with that. You can do in December, winter getaway, the top 10 places to go within an hour of Nashville to clear your winter blues. February, you can do something Valentine's related. March and April, spring cleaning, gardening tips. You can go on and create all of these postcards at the beginning of the year, and then they're set and ready to go on the first of the month. Those have been a big hit for me in the past. And I would do them via mail, and I would post it on my social media, and I would put it in my newsletter. So I hit it in all 3 spots. Again, know your audience. I had a funny story. I had a good friend of mine from college. We've been friends for a lot of years, more than 20, not divulging my age there, but more than 20. And I sent him the postcard and told him about the postcard campaign I was doing. He's like, I don't get your postcard. I don't know what you're talking about. I was over at his house one evening for a dinner party, and there was my postcard sitting in the top of his mail stack. And I was like, well, what about this? He's like, yeah, I get these all the time. I don't know what they are. And I'm like, turn it over. My picture is on there. This is my monthly postcard. So know your audience. Clearly, he doesn't pay attention to detail, and it just went in the trash. But he was always seeing it in the email newsletter.
Maybe
He
just,
also got taken off the card.
maybe you just need a bigger picture, brighter colors. I don't
My
know.
mom saw it. Loved it. She never saw the newsletter though.
All right.
Someone asked who we use for printing. You, of course, can use whomever you want. I've used TrueColor and I've used Printers Press. I've used both. So it's up to you. I don't know cost per sheets at the top of my head, but I know the more you order, the cheaper it is. Anything else? Okay. And then we're going to talk about the frequency and follow-up. We kind of touched on this earlier. So again, if they are farming, if they don't know you, you need to hit them once a month for 4 months before you've actually taken up that memory bank, that spot in their memory. So keep that in mind for farming. If they are already people who know you, like you, trust you, I still like to do once a month. At a minimum, do once a quarter. At an absolute minimum, do once a quarter. But if you can do once a month, that is key. Who knows? Let's say we're talking about sending out a mailer and you're wanting to, we're just going to go with farming because it's the easiest example. And you're wanting to farm the icon. You just moved into the icon and you're wanting to farm the icon. Does anyone know where you can find the addresses?
Tax record.
CRS tax.
Yes. So for those of you that do not know that, you can go into CRS, do advanced search by the subdivision and or neighborhood, zip code. You can search by all kinds of things, and it gives you all of the homeowners. You can tell it to exclude properties that are not owner occupied. And you can just download the addresses right there into a format that's already saved how it needs to be, and then you load it in and you print them onto your envelopes or onto labels to put on your envelopes. Super, super easy. There's another marketing that I have written down here that someone has told me another time I've led a lab like this was impact marketing. I personally have not used them, but that is something that is online. Impact, IMPACT marketing. You can draw map boundaries on there. So like you can draw the map versus having to use a zip code, because on CRS you cannot use the zip codes. So that is another place that you can do, and create postcards. They have some already built in as well. And then they'll mail them for you. So you put in what you want, you load in your list, and then it's sent out on your behalf. Pretty easy. That's almost a set it and forget it. And you can do a campaign through impact marketing as well. Any questions on any of that so far? Let's talk about frequency of social media. everyone has a different opinion on this, and I would love to hear if anyone here thinks that they are a social media guru, expert, novice, but doing well. How often do you need, Rebecca, I'm going to call on you. How often do you need,
I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
how often do you need to be posting on your social media? And this is a two-part question. If you have a business account, that is different. I'm talking about for those of you that have your business and your personal accounts joined. So you're showing your Christmas tree, you're showing your New Year's picture. How often are you needing to post something about real estate to remind those people that you are also a realtor? Anybody out there test that yet?
Once or twice-ish a month, at least, maybe more. I don't know. Is there a wrong answer? I mean,
The wrong answer is never.
okay, yeah, there you go.
Crap.
2 to 4 times a month, easy.
Oh, Rebecca just said crap. That's hilarious. Wow, that's not an option. I was hoping never was good.
Yeah, I mean,
Instagram stories are like a really good use of promoting, because then you're like, people can easily mute your story if you're annoying them without like unfollowing you. So if you are posting frequently on your stories and someone doesn't want to see that all the time, they'd still follow you and see like when you do post your once or twice a month about real estate, when you have a listing or when you have closing, that's like deserving of an actual post. But I love the story feature because you just like intertwine it with like pictures of your coffee and your dog. And then you're like, oh, also look at this pretty house. And people just are like, wow, you do so much in real estate, which not entirely true.
a little segue there for what Sarah just said on social media. You do so much in real estate. If you post just listed, just under contract, just closed for every single listing, you just had 3 posts for that same listing, and people think that you're killing it. They think you just had 3 deals, but really it was just 1. And if you put it on as a coming soon, you got it there too. So now 4, they think you just did 4 different deals because they're not looking at the picture. They're not remembering that. David Kaline, he's an agent over at a different firm, and he does that. And one day I had told him, I was like, you are doing so much business. And even me as a broker and his friend, I wasn't even looking at the detail of it. I was just like, under contract, closed, just listed. It was all the same damn property. But so do that. Social media, awesome. I would say, to answer my own question, I would say at a minimum once a month, you need to be reminding your sphere on social media that you're in real estate. I would love to see y'all do it every week, but it also depends on how often you're posting. Like if you're posting something every day or more than 1 time a day, then you should definitely be putting something on there every week that you're in real estate. If you're more like me and you only post when I kind of treat my social media like it's my photo album. So I post on there every once in a while because I don't post a lot. So I have the business account that I use for that, and we post daily on the business account. So if you have a separate business account, definitely need to be posting daily on it.
Oops.
Yeah, I found that if you post at least 3 times a week on Instagram, you can get more traction off that. And if you have both your business and personal together, I feel like people like that better too, because they're like, oh, she's a real person doing real things, not just real estate. And if you just post sold or under contract, you could lose followers because it's boring, to non-real estate people. So that's just what I've found.
I agree with that. And piggybacking on that, for your business account, again, make it art and science. Don't just put all real estate related things. So when I say you're posting on it daily, I'm not saying you're posting a listing of the day or a design trend. Put yourself in there. We got more traction over the holidays posting silly, embarrassing videos and stuff about our team members than we did on any post about any listing or neighborhood feature that we ever did. So remind your business audience page that you are a real person and connect with them that way. Thank you, Rachel.
I try to make all of my real estate post intentional. Like you don't need 20% to buy a house, you know, and tips for home buying, like you were saying earlier, home trends. I just posted a 12-month homeowner checklist and had people submit their emails if they wanted it. And I got like over 20 responses, you know, so I input those emails in my database. And so it just like little fun things like that. It doesn't have to be all serious too. And I know the reels and TikToks are kind of making a trend too. So, and it's fun for us to be creative, you know, in our business with social media. So I think that's a route you can take too.
I agree. The more embarrassing it is for you, the more the audience loves it. I'll just put that out there because I hate doing it. I hate myself on video. I don't like it at all. And the gal that we just hired is making us do it. And it is so uncomfortable, but we get so much reach from it every time. So now I'm just getting comfortable being embarrassed. A new thing. Okay, so we've gone over a lot of different things here. Again, the main points, keeping it simple, being consistent, don't overthink it. Something is better than nothing. We've talked about mailers, we've talked about social media, we've talked about e-blasts, handwritten notes, postcard campaigns, newsletters, just sold, just listed, either on social media, on your email, or via postcard, neighborhood, you know, what's going on in your neighborhood, whether it's a real estate review or here's what closed in 12 South in 2020. Well, that would be a lot. So maybe in December, something like that would be great. So all of those things, hopefully you all have written down a couple of ideas that you think would work for you and your system, because now we're moving to the actual hands-on. We're going to create our marketing calendar for 2021. So if you can pull up your spreadsheet. Where did mine go? I love how I tell Teddy I'm all set up and
Make sure you're using the downloaded version and not the one that's the template.
The
when you go to-
downloaded version, or if you are savvy in Google Drive, then by all means, make a copy, save it into your drive, not into the current folder that it is in. And then you can edit it through Google Sheets. Okay, so this is a great form created by the Excel master himself, Zach Goodyear. It is fairly self-explanatory, but I'm going to go through it real fast with you on how it's laid out, and then we're going to fill it out together. So here in the first box is your year, 2021. Thank God we're here. On the first month, being January, the first day falls on the 6th day of the week. So in other words, January 1st fell on a Friday. When you put that on here, it automatically calculates your entire year. Can you see this? So January's here, 1st through the 31st. February starts on a Monday. There's 28 days this year in February. March starts on a Monday, goes through the 31st, a Wednesday. So all this makes sense? So when you change it, and I can change it right back, if I said 2021 starts on, watch these numbers here, starts on the 4th day of the week, all of that should change. See how now it all just changed that the 4th day. Make sense? I'm going to put that back before I mess this all up. Okay, so you can, in other words, you can mess it up. You can always come back and you can use it again for the next year. The next thing to pay attention to is here's January. Here's your medium. Here's what you're doing. Here's the topic of it. So for example, social media posting number 1, I did my New Year, new company, Merry Christmas post, whatever it happened to be. You scroll over, you put how many pieces were sent. I personally, when I do social media, I don't count that as one. I put down 1,000 and whatever followers I have, because it reached 1,000 something followers, or in theory, it did. You put how many pieces you sent, how many cost, how much it cost per piece, then it will automatically tell you how much it costs total, and then it gives you your monthly total here. So if you put in 500 pieces, at 75 cents a piece, it will tell you it's $375. And then everything in this column adds up on the right. As you scroll down, once you get it all filled out, you will have your entire grand total marketing expenses for the year. Okay, so that was the very high level overview. And now I want everyone, before we leave today, I want everyone to at least have January and February filled out. So what are you going to do in January for marketing this year? So I want somebody to tell me what they're going to put in their January box.
Social media.
By the way, there's cheats right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing social media and I'm doing Lolo.
Okay. And then
And
Lolo is automatic.
Yeah.
So Lolo tells you what it is. And then social media, just make sure what you're going to put.
Right.
When you've completed it, you might mark an X on it. You don't put the X on when you plan to do it. You put the X on it as though you checked it off your to-do list. Okay. So what else? Who else? What's someone else going to put in their January?
My newsletter, my monthly newsletter.
Awesome. And the great thing, guys, that's free. Like, use the newsletter. It is free and it is a great reach. So when I'm telling you I want you to do January, I also want you to fill out the right side too, just so you know that. I'm not calling you out on your number of your database right now, but make sure to put how many people, D, you're going to send your newsletter to, or I'm sorry, how many people you're sending the Lolo to. And you know it's $1.35 and it will tell you how much.
$28 a month.
Perfect. How cheap is that? 28 bucks a month.
How much is Lolo per person, you said?
$1.35 if you do the monthly. It's $1.10 if you sign up for the year.
Yeah, I signed up for the year.
I did too.
And it's great. It reminds people I'm not dead yet. It's awesome.
So
And
one
I
thing,
rec-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I received Lolo from someone at another brokerage. I get one every month and they're awesome. They're targeted for East Nashville where I live and they're great. So
I get myself one. It's fun.
I
Yeah.
have myself on it. And then I have Scott on, so I have the Davidson County and I have Scott on the Williamson County.
Awesome.
I mean, I want the gifts.
Yeah.
One plug on Lolo, your client is getting hit with the new Lolo of the month, the Lolo that is expiring that month, and a reminder of the Lolo that's expiring the next month. So they're getting hit 3 times for $1, a little over $1 every month.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Kelly Fisher, are you on here? I think she was. She might have logged out. So Kelly does monthly birthday and anniversaries, and she uses birthday alarm. I made her text this to me, birthdayalarm.com. And she puts all of her home anniversaries and all of her birthdays in there, and it emails her I think it's a text, it might be an email, I can't remember now, but she was on here. I just learned about this last night. And it sends her a notification, hey, it's someone's birthday today, make sure to send them a birthday wish, or hey, it's someone's anniversary, home anniversary today. But you can also log in and you can see what's coming up. So for me, for my birthdays and anniversaries, I like to go in on the first of the month and go in and write them all, and then I'm ready to send them. Like, I might even just go on and send them. So I would put on here birthday anniversaries, birthday anniversary card, and then see how many. So I think we were looking at hers and she had 23 for January. And so you put 23 over here, and depending on what you did for, if you did an email or Hallmark. Okay, what else? Who else? Who's putting something else on there?
Would sending your past like Alta statement for like tax records be a good one?
Incredible one. Absolutely. So anyone that closed with you in 2020 needs to be getting an Alta statement reminder this month. because they have to have it for their tax records, whether they bought or whether they sold.
And I'm sure a lot of them have no idea where that's at after they've moved or whatever. So that's like a nice, touch.
Exactly. And if you happen to not know where it is, your title company can get it back to you. And even better, it is in VMint. I love that. I'm going to add this, Teddy, to our template, because that is something people should be doing. And just a little tidbit there, email it. It's free. I love free. I really like free. If you can do it free and it's effective free, go with free. What else? Has anyone filled out the entire year yet? I'm going with no.
I have a plan, but I haven't filled this out.
Okay.
Like, I know that what I'm gonna do, it's like, it's better than I've ever done in my whole life. But it's not on here. It's not filled out like that. I do better when I see it on a calendar on the wall. So that's kind of more how I did it.
Print it and tape it up to your wall.
Yeah. No, well, I write it with a 2007 pen on a 1999 era calendar, and it's on the wall. So I'm not where it is, but yeah, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing. We'll see if it actually happens, but yeah.
At some point during the year, something to include on here. I know Teddy is really good at the client parties or movie night, rent out the movie theater. Again, also pretend like the pandemic's not happening right now. I'm talking post-pandemic. Doing a client appreciation party or renting out the movie theater for your clients with kids, especially. They love that. So you can put that on one of these points. I know that's not a mailer, but it is still marketing because you're sending them an invite. My opinion is it's marketing. Because I want to make sure you see a more simpler version, because again, everybody is different. For me, this works. But again, everyone is different. Do what works for you. I want Teddy to run through his real fast. And if it works for you, use it. And if neither of these work for you, create your own. Like, even if it's like Dee does, write it down on a piece of paper and put it on your wall, or put it in your planner, put it wherever you can see it every day to remind you of what you need to be doing for marketing your business that week, that month, or that day. So Teddy, can you show yours now?
I can, yes, I can. Let's see here. All right, so in the other tab within the within the drive there, you'll see one that says Draft Marketing Calendar, Teddy version, and this is what I've used. This is just sort of a placeholder here to get you started, and you'll see in this, I've put a tab down here called Planning Initiatives, and this is just kind of a laundry list of where I keep things that I may want to consider or do. So different events ideas, newsletter ideas, materials. So again, if you save a copy of this, download a copy of this for you, this is the place where you could put some of your ideas or things that you want to do so that it's all kind of together. As you see in building a calendar, what's most important is get all your ideas out of your head and then choose the ones that you will do and that you can afford and that you will complete. I have been too guilty of doing it the other way, and so that's why I follow a marketing calendar. And the years that I do, it's very successful. And so I just try to color code things to make it a little easier. And I think these color codes, this one may be wrong here, but nonetheless, you can see what's a mailing, an event, e-blast, and a workshop. And so these are just ideas. I haven't of breaking them up into different ways here, but of doing a mailing each month. I mean, I've historically done a calendar and I've done the Titan schedule. And my cover letter is, I barely like football or care about it, but if you're going to die or get married in this town, you better know the SEC football schedule. So, I just try to play into things that I think people there's value there. Now that I was doing that 15 years ago. but it's still funny every year. And it's like my one, mailing touch that I used to do was my silly magnet calendar and the football schedule, because I liked that I could get all the SEC teams and then the pro team, and I got my logo and branding on it. So that was that stuff. But I would do the calendar, the tax record email. I used to mail it. I would also mail that with my thank you at the beginning of the year. I wouldn't do Christmas cards. I always do my stuff around Thanksgiving. That's when my client event party is. But we've done other things like the Thin Mint drop-offs, and we need Samoa people like you and all the cheesy crap. LOTH is letters of the heart. So the core coaching, they really coach that you should be alternating letters of the heart, and an EOS is evidence of success. So the letters of the heart is send people something from your heart every other month, right? About what you're passionate about, something personal about your life, your family, and something from the heart. And then evidence of success, much less slick, if you will, but like a little postcard that simply gives a success story. How you saved somebody money, got them in their first house, whatever it is. It's just you showing people that you're having success. So that's what EOS and LOTH are. Let's see here. As I mentioned in the class the other day, like if you don't like social media, or, like Rebecca, I was saying, she's a great coach and teacher of creating lunch and learns and workshops, and co-branding with other people, getting your lender partners involved and your home inspector and other things. You could create an event without even having to spend money or put it on, especially considering most people prefer or can do online. The dog park, if you have a dog, leveraging the dog park. I used to take dog bones tied to water bottles with my koozie on there. And that was a thing, doing a little, you can do seeds. I always try to like look things that would be fun, interesting, or speak to things that I'm passionate or interested in. So that's kind of how this calendar draft came about. But basically you can see we just break up each month into 4 weeks and decide when are we going to do it, and then backdate it. Like, so for newsletters, I like them to go out the 3rd week of the month. And you can Google the statistics on when to send them. Don't send your newsletter at 10 at night. I mean, just don't let that be unintentional, I guess I would say, is that there's better open rates at different times of day and days of the week when you send these things. So when somebody's opening their email in the morning, they're likely cleaning through all the junk, versus after lunch, many times people will spend a little more time on things that aren't business related or pertinent. So questions about this style calendar or events that I've done or anything around that? Nope.
How long does it take you to put this together?
To fill it out?
Yeah.
Typically, you can do this in about an hour or two. The hardest part is sitting down and just eliminating ideas. It's like hunting for a home. It's not finding the right one. It's eliminating all the shit you're not going to buy. So the more that you can eliminate this planning and initiatives page of all these great, cool, amazing, I saw my friend do ideas, to just get down to, hey, let's just pick 3 things you're going to do a month. And that's really what you should do, in my opinion. You're going to do social media, and how many a week are you going to do, and put them in your calendar and do them. You're going to do a newsletter, and you're going to do 2 events a year, and I'm going to do 2 mailings a year. So some of this stuff in here, this was when I was like running a team and we were doing more, but ultimately like what I was willing as a personal individual agent to commit to: 1 client event in November, 1 mailing of the calendar in January, the Titans or the football schedule then, and my monthly newsletter. And then the rest was phone calls and personal notes. That's what I would do. When you had a bigger team and I had more support, well then yeah, we'd love to drop off, open house tulips for mom's days, and, single mom programs and nurses events and Vanderbilt interns and all these like lovely things. But the truth is, unless you're going to make that a farming group and be consistent and a part of the core, Like Rebecca's getting this, somebody's spending $1.20 on Rebecca every month. They don't know her. They've never talked to her. Maybe they know her, but like she's on a farm list. In my opinion, farming is like one of the weakest forms of lead generation there is. It's the quickest way to dump money. Like, just don't do it. Unless I can have a personal conversation. That's why the dog park promotion was great. You know, because I had my little tag I put on there that like, I live in this neighborhood and you know, me and my dog, like we live and love this neighborhood. Just know if we'd ever help. So just make it authentic and organic to like who you are and what you're into. Don't overdo it. That I think is the biggest thing that happens when all these marketing initiatives, you know, pick one or two cool things you're going to do in a year. Trust me, you're going to be busy with the rest of it. You don't want to get too down the rabbit hole of these tchotchke things. That's what I was asking Lon. I'm like, how long has he been doing and what he's been doing? The most important thing is the consistency of that. So yeah. And cool. One of the interesting things is with COVID, it's given kind of like when the internet came along, and I say the internet in such an old school generic way, but it changed marketing. You know, y'all don't have to spend the money to be seen in the newspaper the way my mother used to, right? You have access to your database for people to be seeing your messaging at any minute, any time in the day with social media. So that is a component that if that's your thing, make that a part of it, right? But you have to shift some of those resources. There's so many free ways to reach people now, which is the beauty. So I just be mindful about anything that costs money, with exception of like things that you know work that you won't do unless you do outsource it, then outsource it. That $400 a month that Jan pays has paid her back, I'm sure, 10 times over. The stamps that Lon pays, the time it takes. Like, I know, oh goodness, Jamie Helms isn't on here, but he was looking to grow his business, and he was not into social media and whatnot, and he just started doing a paper newsletter. Yes, paper, friends, paper. This thing that you print out and you put it in an envelope and stamp it and all the whole thing. And he just started with everybody he sold a house to. If you never sold a house, just start with 100 people that would know your name and open it if your name was on it. And he's just done that consistently. And my God, that dude's business has quadrupled. It's like almost laughable. And now he's forced to do it because people are used to it. Like if Lon stopped doing it, y'all didn't get a tech tip, and it was like, where's our tech tip? And it's like, well, you created that monster, Ted Pins. So that's ultimately what you're wanting to do, is just create something of value and be consistent, whereby people start to, they appreciate it. They look for it, even if it goes straight to the trash, such as a postcard. So that's my narrative on that. Any other questions on the calendar?
I love yours, Teddy. I love the color coding. Someone else put that in theirs, and the details that you can put on it.
Yeah, it's, maybe you use both. Like what you'll see on here is no budget. That's a problem, right? So you do have to account for the money. So maybe just taking the flow calendar of Andreas and making that a tab down here, right? And simply just putting the flow calendar down here, and you use a hybrid of both. What I would say is, if spreadsheets aren't your thing, whatever is your thing, enough to use it. I don't care if you print this thing out and you white out it, and at least you write some things down that you can look at every month, so that it doesn't get ahead of you. And you don't operate from the fear-based, anxiety-filled, I'm not doing enough life that I've lived for 20 years about marketing, when I'm looking left and right and going, I'm not doing what Chad's doing, and I wish I was doing what they're doing, and I'm not posting enough. And it's like, hey, just pick 3 things you are doing enough of and just keep doing those things well. That would be my PSA about marketing in real estate in general. So yeah. Well, it's 11:38. We're over as usual, and hopefully it was a good value add. Do we have any parting questions or thoughts or ideas you want to share? All right. Yes, Rebecca.
So for the life of me, I can't put my hands on this email that Zach sent out in September-ish of 2019 about the Lolo launch, and you clicky on the link because Village had established a deal with Lolo. So rather than just go to lolo.com, I'm looking for the link to share that. And I can't find it right now. I'm sorry. But
Right.
maybe if we could get that, or if Zach could send it out again or something like that, that'd be great.
I will ask everyone to send it again, but if at any time you can't find it, Rachel can resend it to you. But I'll
And
get the
if you-
company to.
Yeah. And if you send it to me, or here's what I'll promise everyone, is that I'm getting ready to send out the updated version of the FAQ. And the Village FAQ lives in the agent toolkit. And I basically asked Rachel at the front desk to write down every question she gets asked sitting at that desk. So that all of us, when it's 8 at night and we're trying to figure out how do I update my bio page, that's already been answered. Like you figure if one of us has the question, at least 2 or 200 more agents do as well. So never hesitate to keep the questions and requests coming. And if you filter them to myself or any of the broker team, they will know to me anytime we're getting questions that they get added to the FAQ. Because I'd like that to be the resource where people can go to at least first as a first stop to try to solve their problems.
I do think, Rebecca, that the link is specific to you. So do make sure that I think someone put in here that they would forward it, but I do think it is a specific link to your account. I'm not sure, but reach out to Rachel, she'll get it to you, but I'll ask Zach and Jeremy to do a resend to all the agents as a reminder. We have a lot of newbies anyway.
And I'll also, if you don't mind, I'm going to throw a plug in. I put it in the chat, but when you were talking about prospecting and using CRS tax, there is a RealTrax class. It's 1 hour on CRS prospecting, and it walks you through it and how to get the neighborhood you want and download the addresses and all sort of stuff. And I highly recommend it. And Bobby Joe Nugent does a great job on it. So just go to RealTrax and sign up for that class.
If anyone would like some accountability, you can lean on me and send me your flow marketing calendar by the end of the day tomorrow. If you get stuck and you need help, call me, text me. I'm happy to carve out time for you and sit with you and help brainstorm unique ideas for what would be best for your marketing campaign. So I am here beyond this lab. Call me, text me, stop by my office, and I'll be happy to sit down with you.
Perfect. Will you put your contact in the chat real quick so anybody could grab that there? If you're ever not sure where to find anybody, the roster also lives in the agent toolkit. And where is the agent toolkit? That's posted in the Village exclusive and in the weekly education email and in all of my email signatures from now on. So you'll have access to that, and the roster is kept up to date in there. And any other ideas or improvements, we're all ears, so keep them coming well beyond the survey. So thank you. So there's your chance. You can click the 3 arrows and grab Andrea's contact information. And it's a good thing. It doesn't even matter if you talk to her about your calendar, just the fact that you have accountability that you're going to get that to someone. And if you don't want to send it to her, pick a peer within Village. The hardest thing at this business is doing it alone. And you just don't have to. And even if you feel like you just had a brief, somebody said something that inspired you or intrigued you, help that person, just reach out to a person and make them a peer. And, from your 40X groups to just somebody that you value or trust in your company or outside, find a buddy, do it together. It makes it a lot more fun and accountable, and highly recommend it. So
one thing I always forget to do is save the chat when there's links. So if you did not do that, save it. If you don't know how, I just put in the saved chat as an attachment in the chat. So you can download it that way, because there's a lot of great links in here.
And you can always pull the chat anytime you hit the 3 dots and hit save chat. So everyone can do that. And I believe that Belle in our East Nashville, she's been posting all of our recordings to the YouTube channel, and she's including the chats in there, I believe, in the notes of the post. So
awesome.
Rebecca gives a thumbs up. So does that mean it's happening or you like it? Both.
Love it, because I always forget to save the chat until right when the meeting's closed. And I'm like,
So have you noticed that Belle puts them in there?
No, I hadn't. I'm giving the thumbs up for that.
I think they are. I think they are.
When
So
she posts them in the Facebook group, she does include the chat.
she does.
Mhm.
See,
She's so good.
just amazing.
So glad we have people taking care of us.
That's right. We can't all do it alone. I mean, that's how it happened. It was like, I was like, I can't keep up with posting these videos to our village channel. And so I thought, like, Reach just thought, hey, Belka, is this something you'd be open or could do? And she was like, for sure. She's been amazing. So if you see her, just tell her thanks, because she's a part of how that happens. And I do try to put her some shout outs to her on the emails sometimes. But anyhow, all right, y'all, create your marketing calendar. It doesn't take that long. I promise you. Have a
Awesome.
wonderful
Thanks
day.
everyone for showing up. Have a great Thursday.
Yep. Be positive, spread love. We're all going to be okay.